Okay, hello everyone. I've been getting quite a bit of comments on YouTube and Twitter to kind of make a little video on the Fibonacci tool that I use to measure reward to risk multiple. It's a little hack that I've developed a while back and I've been using it. So I'll walk you through how to do that on your own and get it working. I'm going to do that in TradingView, but I assume you can do that in any platform that you have that you're using, trading, charting, and whatever. So this should be a quick video. So it's a little hack on how to use Fibonacci tool um, to measure your reward to risk ratio, right? Or multiple. So let's dive in. As always, this is for educational purposes only. Tickers that we're going to be taking a look at are not recommendation to buy, hold, or sell any securities. Okay, let's dive in. So I'll use multiple different positions that I've took in the past and ones that I'm in, and then we'll try to measure the entry, the stop, and then show you how I use that tool, Fibonacci tool, to measure reward to risk. The tool, probably a lot of you are familiar with Fibonacci's. If you're not, please Google it. This is not kind of video on Fibonacci, but you can find the tool two ways. You guys notice that I have my favorites down here, right? This is something that you can do in TradingView. You can move that and put it, anywhere after you get your favorites on. So I, like to have this down here. And then I have my favorite tools here. So if you see, if I hover over this, it says Fibonacci retracement, right? But if you don't have this on here, the way to get to it is from this drawing toolbar here. So third, from the top. I never changed these, so I'm assuming everywhere it's third from the top. And then it's right here for Fibonacci retracement. If you want to favorite, you can favorite. You just click the star here, and then it'll favor, and it'll be put on your bar here. And then you can either show or hide that bar. And then, like I said, you can move it anywhere. So get to the tool, and then we'll walk you through it. So let's start with this trade here. So essentially, really, what this Fibonacci tool that I did, let's draw it here first, and then I'll explain how I did it. So I'm going to go to the Fibonacci tool right here, or from here and here. And then I'm gonna, so this is the setup. This is the day that I'm gonna be buying, and I bought it over the high of this bar right here. So that's when you can put your cursor just above the high. That's your entry, and then you drag down to where your stop is. Okay. So for visibility perspective, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just put a little bit all the way down here for a stop. Okay. And then you can extend these lines when you drag over as much as you'd like. Okay. So let's just put the stop down here. And now you have your extension. So let me just delete these lines so that we're not confusing lines from the Fibonacci tool. Okay, so now this is your entry. This line is your entry. This line is your stop. You can change the colors, obviously, so you can make this green. You can make this red for your stop if you prefer. I don't care for the colors. I know where my entry is. I know where my stop is. But essentially, this is from here to here is your stop. And then here's your 1, reward to risk, 2, 3, and 4. And then you have 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I have 8 of them on here. Okay. Um, so the way I did this is really pretty easy in the tool. You will here's how it looks. So you just kind of check box as many levels as you want. So I have it up to 8 reward to risk. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Um, and then the reason why you have 9 here is because you really have a 0 and a 1. So, but that's an 8, and that's really how you have it. You can, do the colors as you want them. So you can pause here and then take a screenshot of that and then do it. You can have it extend to the right or left. So you see how if you extend them to the left, you don't have to drag to the left then, but I like to drag it as far as I want to. And then that's it. You can play with these if you want to, but it's really pretty easily. Um, you can play with this. You might have to do this for the log scale if you're on log scale. So you see how this is more because I keep mine. Where is the log scale? This, if I hover, I keep mine on log scale all the time. So you might want to check that if you have log scale. Otherwise, your reward to risk is not going to be uh, is not going to be correct, right? So right here, this is correct. So you got 1, 2, 3. So that's really how I do it. It's pretty easy. Again, remember if you have the log scale, check the log so you get the right reward to risk ratio. So let's see how that works on the chart. So what I'm going to do is pretend that I just took this trade and my stop was really tight on this. So I entered above the high and then my stop was right below the second low here, this low here, second the day before. So my stop was right here. So this trade, and I took profits here. So this trade was 1, 2, sorry, there'd be 1 reward to risk, 2, 3, and 4. So I was selling at 4x my risk. Okay, so that's the first trade that I did. And then I did another one here. So again, you zoom in, you put your entry, you drag it down to your stop. That's where my stop was, below the 2 day low. And now you can drag it out as much as you want. And then I sold this one here. So if we drag it all the way out like that, I sold here. So I did 1, 2, 3, 3R, three times my risk. So that's kind of really how I use the tool. You can use it for shorting as well. I don't do shorting, but you can use it for shorting. So let's assume you are shorting, I don't know, here, right? This is good reversal, back to the 50, lots of overhead selling here. So you want to short, right? So let's just assume you short below the low of this bar. You grab the Fibonacci tool. Again, your entry right here. So let's zoom in. Your entry is right here, and then you drag up instead of down, dragging up instead of down, and then your stop is above the high of this high. And now here's your reward risk multiple targets, right? If you want to call them targets. So here's your entry, and here's your 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. Okay, so it works for both short and long, right? Let's take a look at array that I am still on, and this thing continued to pull back. I bought it here above this high, and then my stop was below this bar right here. Okay, so let's extend it up. There's my stop was below that. So I was up on the trade 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. I'm still in it, and now it's pulling back. I expect it to stabilize here and turn up, back up, hopefully. If not, then it's gonna start looking pretty dicey, and it's gonna look like I gave up a lot of gains. But that's really how I use it. Now, the thing that you want to, a lot of questions I get on Twitter is, well, where do you put your stop, right? Well, it's really personal, right? Just your stop needs to be 7 to 8% max. That's not what I do, but that's most of the legendary traders tells you 7 to 8%. O'Neill 7 to 8% max stop, and from there it's really how tight it is. The more risk to reward you have. And you can see this changing live here, right? So let's just give it a little room here to see all of the levels here, right? So let's just think, let's just expand the price to give us a little bit more real estate, okay? Let's just say you took this trade, okay? My stop was really tight, right? Let's for the sake of argument, I'm gonna remove these just to clean up the chart a little bit, okay? All right, we don't need anything. We're just gonna focus on price. Let's assume that uh, I took the trade here and then I put my stop below this day, okay? That is extremely tight, right? Look what happens as you are putting a tighter stop. You're achieving your reward multiple a lot faster, right? So now you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, potentially 9x your risk. But what does this mean if you're this tight? You're gonna get stopped out a lot often, a lot more, right? Is this right or wrong? There's no right or wrong. It's how are you trading style is, and are you okay with a really tight stop and getting stopped out often and often and often, right? So from here, as you widen your stop, you see what's happening to your reward to risk. It widens with it, right? So now if you do below the day before, now your reward is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, less than 6. So previously you were 9x, you achieved 9x, and now you only achieved 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not even 6, almost 6. Now, if you're playing it even wider, right? Put it below the recent swing low, then now you're only achieving 1, 2, 3 and a quarter reward to risk. The wider your stop, the lower your reward to risk is. The tighter your stop, the higher your reward to risk. But there's no free lunch. You're going to get stopped out way more the tighter your stop is. So it's a balancing act, and you need to know your style. You need to know what you want to do and how you want to do it. That's it. Let me see here. What is this percentage here? Yeah, I mean this is 6%. It's very acceptable stop, but this is the result of a wider stop, and so forth and so on and so forth. So um, yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. It's pretty easy. Let me just double click on this again, show you the setting. You can do that. Again, pause it, do that on your own. And then, like I said, if you have the log scale enabled on your chart, so if you hover over here, you see the L, I have logarithmic always, then you want to check that. If you don't and you have the normal scale, then you would want to check that. Okay, I hope that helped. And thank you for watching.